All right, guys, so for this trick, we need the deck to be completely shuffled. So I would actually hand the deck over to the spectator. They can go ahead and mix it up as much as they want. You guys can see here, though, all the cards are completely different, completely shuffled, just like this. So at this point, I want the spectator to hold out their index finger, because I'm just gonna go through the cards like this, and I just want them to touch any card that they wish. Let's say they go ahead and touch this card, and I'm not gonna look, but please go ahead and remember this card the best that you can. Perfect. And when you remember that card, all I'm just gonna do is leave that card in the center of the pack, sticking out until the very last moment. You guys can see that going right there into the middle of the deck. Now, I'm actually gonna hand the deck over to the spectator, so it's completely out of my control, and I want them to go ahead and further shuffle the deck. So they're gonna go ahead and give the deck some more really nice thorough shuffles. And when they're done shuffling, they're just gonna hold the deck face down. I tell them to now name any random number between 1 and 52. Let's say they name the number 24. I ask them if they want to change their mind, because they can. They say, no, I want to stick with 24. Okay, I say, perfect. Take the deck and just deal 24 cards onto the table. But actually, the 24th card, I want you to place that 24th card right here inside of my empty hand. So just pretend that I'm the spectator dealing the cards now, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And the 24th card they would place inside of my empty hand. Now let's recap for a second. First, we shuffled the deck completely. Then I had you select any card from the middle of the deck. I wasn't looking, and then I placed that card back in the middle of the deck, and I handed you the deck to further shuffle. Then you're still holding the deck, and you named a random number between 1 and 52, and that number was the number 24. You could have said any other number, but you said 24, for example, or for some reason. And look, if you had said any other number, like if you had said the number 25, it would have been the 6 of clubs. And if you had said one less, if you had said 23, it would have been the 6 of hearts, but you settled on 24, exactly. In fact, if you had said any other number besides 24, you guys can see that it would have been a completely different outcome, obviously. Like, all these cards are completely different, completely shuffled. Yet, somehow, you knew that at the 24th position, your card, the King of Spades, would land exactly there. And that was your card, the King of Spades. Hopefully it was. And yeah, so that is the trick, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. All right, guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So this is by far one of my favorite selected card at any number tricks that you could possibly do. It's completely impromptu, so you can do this with a totally borrowed shuffled deck of cards. This is definitely like a go-to super strong effect that anyone can do, and it's actually really not that difficult to do. I think there's a grand total of 2 sleights that you need to worry about in this trick. If you guys are beginners, this will take some practice, but if you're like intermediate or advanced magicians, you guys can just watch this video and go right ahead, because this trick is really not that bad. So let's go ahead and get right into how this is done. So like I said, this trick is completely impromptu, which means that the deck can be completely shuffled and completely mixed up. So the order does not matter whatsoever to this trick. The first thing that you're gonna need to learn is how to control the card. So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna have the spectator select any card from the middle. Let's say this card, the 7 of diamonds, and you're gonna take this card and lose it in the middle of the deck. And then that card is going to be actually controlled to the bottom of the deck. So I'm gonna be teaching you how to do this right now with a nice little spread control. So how you're gonna do this is you're gonna spread through the cards, have the spectator touch any card. So let's say they touch a card, let's say this one. What you're gonna do is you're gonna break the right hand spread off above the selection that they want. So let's say they touch this card, so I'm gonna break the cards off at this point. I'm gonna push their selection over, and now I'm gonna bring the right hand spread back down, and I'm actually going to push this card off until I line it up with the bottom card of the right hand spread. So this card right over here. I'm gonna try and line those cards up with my thumb the best that I can. And when it's there, I can just kind of move these cards back together. And now I'm gonna show the spectator the card that they selected. And this card on the bottom here, it really is the card that they selected. But what you've done is you've just lined up these 2 cards together. You're just gonna lift up your hand, and you're not gonna look, so you can look away, but the spectator's gonna be remembering this card. And you can point with your middle finger too. You can say, all right, this card right here, please go ahead and remember it. And at this point, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your left hand up to contact the card card, and your thumb, your left thumb, is going to contact the back of this card right over here. And your fingers, the entire time, they are contacting the face of this 4 of hearts. So your fingers are a very, very important role in this next move, because you're going to be doing a cull of the card. So you're going to lift up your hand here, clamp your thumb down on this card. Make sure to leave the card out jogged as well. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your fingers here to actually slide that card to the right, and then you're going to take your hand and kind of just lower everything down with this card included, but you're going to leave the card that you're clamping down with your thumb. That card's going to stay out jogged. So you guys can see everything is sliding down except for that card, and that's really what's happening in this move here. And you're going to be doing this entire sliding motion down as you bring your hand down. When you show the spectator the card, you say, perfect, remember the card. As I bring my hand down, that's when I do it. So I bring my hand down, boom, now I slide the card. And in that motion, they will not be able to see you doing that. And now, since I slid that card, I can continue to spread the cards, and that 4 of hearts is going to be right here underneath all the other cards. As you can see, my fingers here are right on top of that card. So I can continue to spread the cards, and when I finish spreading, I'll just square up the deck. As you can see, that 4 of hearts is just going to be controlled right to the bottom of the deck. And this card here is a completely random card, but since it was in the same place as the 4 of hearts, it looks exactly like the 4 of hearts. Now you're just going to take this card and push it in very, very slowly, and now your card is controlled to the bottom of the deck. So one more time, very, very quickly, I'll show you guys what it looks like in full speed. So they touch any card, I say, perfect, this card here, I push it off, line it up the best I can. I just lift up my hand here to show the spectator 10 of hearts. Now I'm gonna take my hand, place it here, clamp my thumb down, and get ready to cull that card. I'm just gonna slide my fingers back as I bring the hand down and leave that card out jogged. Now I'm gonna spread through the rest of the deck, leave that card on the bottom, and now I can push this card in. And it looks like that card was just completely lost in the middle of the deck, but in reality, it's right here on the bottom of the deck. So at this point, you're gonna give the deck to the spectator to shuffle. But before you do that, you're gonna need to do something called a gambler's cop. Now, all that is I'm gonna clamp down with my thumb here so I can take my pinky and kind of pull down on that bottom card just a little bit. So once I pull that card down with my pinky, I now have what's called a pinky break over here on the bottom card. And now what I can do is transfer the entire deck into my right hand. So basically now the entire deck is being held with the right hand. As you take your left hand and you're just gonna move it from this position to this position here. So you're just gonna take your hand and kind of slide it forward. You're gonna use your pinky here to kind of contact the bottom card there. And then you're gonna take your left hand and slide it back. So as you guys can see, that bottom card just kind of got slid back into my left hand. So at full speed, it looks something like this. I do a pinky pull down on that bottom card, then I hold the entire deck in my right hand. I move my left hand forward, and now I take that bottom card back with me. And now all I do is I hand the spectator the deck to shuffle, and this card is now secretly hidden in my palm in a gambler's cop. And this is what the spectator is gonna see. They're just gonna see an empty hand. And you're just gonna drop this down to your side, just very naturally. It's just gonna look like this. And they're gonna shuffle the deck so they can go ahead and mix up the cards as much as they want to. But this card, the entire time, is going to be gambler's copped in your hand. And this card is the spectator selection. So they can shuffle the cards all they want to because their card isn't even in the deck anymore. So when they're done shuffling, they're still holding the deck. You're still holding the card in your hand secretly. They're going to name any number that they want. Let's say the number 10, for example. You tell them to deal 10 cards onto the table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then you tell them to take the 10th card and to place it in your empty hand. So your right hand, or the hand that isn't holding the gambler's cop, as they're counting the card, you're just gonna hold your hand out like this, ready for them to place the card in your right hand. So when they place the card in your hand, they're just gonna place it down like this. So now they place the card in your hand, and now all you're gonna do is hold the card, just make sure not to turn it over, because this is not going to be their card. You're gonna take the card, and you're gonna lift up your left hand, and you're going to lift up your thumb here, and you're gonna place the card in this little section of your hand right over here. So you're gonna place the card right there, and then your thumb is going to clamp down on that card. And from the spectator's point of view, it looks like this. It looks like you're just holding a card in your thumb, but in reality, you're holding 2 cards here because this card is completely hidden from the spectator's point of view. The spectator just sees you holding 1 card, and at this point, you're going to do your whole little summary of the trick. You say, yeah, you shuffled, you named a random number, and you said, look, if you had named 1 more, it would have been the 9 of diamonds. If you had done 1 less, it would have been the king of diamonds. And at this point, the cleanest way that I like to square these 2 cards up together, because that's what you're going to be doing, is I kind of like to turn my body a little bit to the right. So I turn my body a little bit to the right, then I take my left hand and I just kind of move it up and I square those cards up, the entire back of my hand is going to be covering those cards, kind of squaring up together. So all I do is I just move those cards so that they are being held together like this. And now I'm just gonna hold the cards in my right hand like this. As I take the cards here, move them aside so I can take the rest of the deck and just kind of spread it out to show the spectator. If they named a random number, it would have been a different card. Just kind of take all these cards, spread them out on the table. It can be as clean or as messy as you want, doesn't really matter. What I like to do is actually a Stuart Gordon double lift or a Stuart Gordon double turnover to reveal the card, but that is a little bit of an advanced move. So if you guys want to, you can just take the card here in your hand, kind of just transfer it from this grip to this grip, and then you can just kind of turn the card over in your hand. Just be sure though that when you're holding the cards together, that the spectator might be able to see this little gap here, because since this card was being held in the gambler's cup, your hand was holding it like this and it was being a little bit bent by your hand. So when you square it up, that card might be still bent and the spectator might be able to see it. So there are two ways to clean this up. Either you can take your thumb and just clamp down like this, so that will hide the bend there, or you can take your index finger and push up from the bottom. So either way, doesn't matter, but then you can just take the card here and turn it over, and then same thing, just be sure to hide the bend by either pushing down the thumb or up with the index finger. So boom, that's their card at their freely chosen number. They were holding the deck the entire time, so that's just crazy right there. And how to end clean now is you take the card that's on the bottom here, which is the random card, and you're just gonna put it in the gambler's cup position again. So you're gonna put this in the gambler's cup, immediately drop this hand down, and just hand this card over to the spectator to examine, because they're gonna wanna look at this card immediately. So you're just gonna put this in gambler's cup, immediately drop it, and give it to the spectator to hold on to. And now at this point, what I like to do is just take the deck, square it up with my right hand, and just pick up some cards here. It doesn't really matter how many. And then I just load the gambler's cup card on the bottom of the deck as I square up like this, and that's how you get the card back. And now you can just square up everything, and now the trick is over and you're completely clean. And now everything is really completely examinable, and that is the end of the trick right there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. As you can see, it's pretty simple to do. You really just have to worry about the control and then the gambler's cup. Those are like your two main sleights in this trick. Once you get those down, this trick looks absolutely flawless and super clean in the spectator's eyes. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and also the bell for notifications whenever I post a new video. So yeah guys, that's the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time. Bye.